What's up guys, welcome to part 3 of how to code, and today we're looking at the different types of loops. So we have while loop, for loop and repeat loop, okay, and there is in pairs loop, which we'll look at the end, okay. So first we're going to look at while loops. Now I'm just going to show you an example here. I have all of them set up, so looping part, so we're going to just looping part. This game.where is a looping part, okay? Which is the base plate. It's not okay. So basically what this is doing is changing the color of the part, waiting through it, change the color again, and then waiting through it. Now you need a wait. If you deleted these waits, then the program will crash. Well, Roblox Studio will crash, and you have to reload it. Okay, now you don't want to do that. So what this will do is hopefully change the color. Oh, see, it keeps repeating between purple and pink, blue. It's not pink. Okay, yeah. You could also do random colors, but we're not going to get into that now. So looping, this is an infinite loop. A while true loop is infinite, okay? And then you can change it to while wait 1 or while task. This is a new way of saying wait, task.wait1, and then you can put in everything you want. So task.wait1, and then we are going to okay, we're not going to do anything random, so this won't do anything. Anyway, you get it. So I'm not going to do that now. So it's going to wait 1, and it's going to keep on looping every 1 second, and that's what while loops are. Next, I'm going to look at for loops. Actually, yeah, we'll do for loops. So for count equals 10, 1 and minus 1. Okay. So what this loop does is not infinite this time. It goes up to 10. Okay, 1 to 10. So what I'm going to do is just count equals. Never mind. Okay, yeah. Set count. We're just going to print count. And I'll show you what this is. We're going to run it, and it should print it 10 times. So yeah. Count is actually I, and I is just the value that is at in the loop, okay? So it's the same as I, but count, I've just named it count so it's easier to understand. But I is what you would call it. This is what you call a sensible identifier, so you name it sensible to what you're doing. So in this case we're just counting, but in other cases, so if it's a round system, you want to call it round number, then yeah, okay? So that's the for loop. Now we're going to go into a repeat loop, okay? And a repeat loop, we're just going to use this apples example here. So we've got the apples. Now what I'm going to do is int value. So we're going to add an int value into the workspace. And we're going to call this apples. And we're going to name it game.workspace.apples. There we go. We're going to define it in our variable, which we learned in part 1. So this is how it's set out usually. So repeat apples plus 1. This is the same as doing equals apples plus 1. Okay, it's more quicker, so that's what we use. So we're going to go back to that. So that's a new thing if you don't know it. Plus equals means plussing the value by 1. Okay. So game that works as apples is 0, so we'll add 1, and it will repeat until apple is 10. And this is a good way of doing it. So we're just going to see. Wait a second.
One eternity later.
So what you want to do is do this and this. Now it should work. So if I go to apples, it's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it should stop there. There we go, it stopped. And just to show that, oops, we're gonna wait, no, wrong script. We're gonna wait 1 so it's faster, and we're going to then print after loop done. So it just exits the loop and it goes to the next line, okay? After it hits 10. So if we run that again, it should go a bit faster. There we go. 7, 8, 9, 10. Loop done. And there we go. And that's the repeat loop. So if you saw here, you can use it here, but this is an infinite loop, so you really don't need to use it here. But don't worry about that. So finally, we're going to look at for I, V, and pairs loop. Now, what this is the okay. So if we go back to where we did for count equals 10, 0, and then -1. It's the same. This is actually I, and this is the number in the so if we run it, it will print all the numbers. Now that's I, and that's the same for this this loop. So I here is the value we're at, so the counting number, and V is the value in here. Okay, so we are going to play it, and I'll see what happens. So first it's printed cow, which is value 1 or increment 1, sheep increment 2, pig increment 3, and horse increment 4, and it stopped there. So because it basically, what I in pairs loop does is loop out of everything in that group. So you could do it out of a folder, but we're doing it out of a table, and this is used for like data stores, which we're doing another episode on that. So if I do, I don't know, a dog and a rabbit, okay, and now if I do 1 every time so we can actually see it, cow, sheep, pig, horse, and you can see the I value each time, and rabbit. See, it stops at rabbit, and it's not an infinite loop, this one, it's like repeat, okay? And those are all the loopings you need to know for Roblox Studio, and this can be integrated in different ways. If you want to know how you can integrate them, we'll have an advanced series in the future. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one.